So today Shimano dropped some news that I'm actually excited about. I've been kind of blasé about the latest group set offerings from Shimano, SRAM, and Campagnolo, but this, my friends, this might be the true group set of the people. A quick note, if you guys enjoy the content on the channel, we just dropped some new stickers, some Save the Front Derailleur stickers. Okay, so let's jump into it. This is an article from cyclist.co.uk. This is probably the most fleshed out article I've seen about this new group set. The new group set or set of group sets, it's gonna get a little confusing here. It's called CUES, which stands for Create Unique Experiences with a capital S at the end. And man, they really have to hire an English major to help them come up with some names here. So it says here that CUES launched last year, a little fanfare, e-bike specific 1011 Di2 group set. That's probably why this is new to me. More importantly, it says Shimano has revealed that CUES will ultimately replace its entire entry level offering, eventually usurping Tiagra, Sora, and Claris on the road and their equivalents on the mountain bike side. I think this makes sense. Why do you need, 3 different kind of lower end group sets when it's essentially serving the same group of folks? Pricing timeline hasn't been confirmed yet, so no release date. And it looks like Shimano hasn't divulged what the road offering is going to look like. So all this is going to talk about flat bar drivetrain options. Been churning in the rumor mill that all this stuff will also work with a drop bar. So finally, we will get the reunification of drop bar shifters and mountain bike gearing. It should never have been divided in the first place. What else does it say? CUES signals a major shift by Shimano away from its traditional trickle-down approach, which saw features debut in the top-end race group sets years before and were available at the more affordable end of the range. And I think this makes total sense. Let the top-end racers get what they want. It's never made sense to me that, you get a 50-34 crank on a entry-level road bike. I mean, it's completely different groups of people. I'm interpreting this as, instead of giving, people road racing light group sets at this tier, they're going to be more specific to that user group, which again, I think makes perfect sense. It's going to be interesting to see how they acknowledge this now and how they implement it. Point number 4, there are going to be 1 and 2X options. So yes, they are saving the front derailleur, or at least their version of it. And the 5th one is one I'm really excited about, new cassettes and crank ratios. Crank ratios is the key one. Okay, the end of trickle down for every man group sets. So one of the big points here is no longer, for example, will you need to cobble together an affordable 1X drivetrain, because Shimano only offers a 2X and 3X at the low end. So if you want a 1X drivetrain and you're not rocking one of the higher tier group sets that is coming soon, why should beginners need to learn how to operate a front derailleur on their mountain bike? Come on, guys, it's not that hard. I do take a little bit of umbrage with the language here because it's setting it up as, this is just for noobs. This is the noob drivetrain. I think some of the things that CUES is offering will also benefit more experienced cyclists that just want wider range. Let's see, next point. CUES will offer component compatibility between 9, 10, and 11 speed. Of course, you can have that now if you run a friction shifter. And a CUES chain will work with any of those cassettes. So I'm curious what's special about this CUES chain. I've not seen one specifically, but in my experience, I've been using Shimano and SRAM 11-speed chains, and it works fine on 9, 10, 11-speed cassettes. They do say here, this is a major change to Shimano's usual approach. I'd say this is the industry approach, where compatibility between speeds is normally limited and often not officially endorsed. Yeah, this is just, all the lack of cross compatibility is just asinine. CUES will initially be offered on the lifestyle side of things. So I guess that's where we fall in, guys. We're the lifestyle side of things. Meaning for flat bar hybrids, alt bar bikes, e-bikes, lower end mountain bikes. But over the coming months and years, it appears it'll change on the road side too. This is the stuff I'm really excited about. But unfortunately, there isn't much. So from top to bottom, you've got the U8000, which is going to be the higher end of this lower end group family, which is 11 speed. It goes all the way down to U3000, which is 9 speed. Okay, so let's get into the good stuff here. New cassette and crank ratios. Again, these are flat bar cues group sets that they're going to offer. We don't know what we don't know the roadside yet. Supposedly they're going to be cross compatible. So let's go on that assumption that what we see here we'll be able to get with drop bar, curly bar shifters. Okay, so in terms of 1x cranks, they're going to have chainring teeth, 42 and 40 and 11 speed. 9 speed gets more options, 42, 40, 32, 30. I already see kind of a hole here. It would be nice to see a 38 tooth. What I run on my 1x drop bar gravel bikes gives you a little bit more of a lower end with an 11 to 50 cassette. Looking at the 2x crank options, 46, 32 in 11 speed. Okay, 10 speed, you get 4630, which is cool. 3622. So this is definitely more of a mountain bike gearing. 9 speed is where things get interesting and where I'm more excited about it. You get your 4630, you get a 3622, but you also get a 4026. So for me, 4026 just hits that perfect sweet spot for a wide range double. Great for road riding, gravel riding, and also touring. It's cool to see them offer this. I've seen 4026 in some mountain bike doubles in the past. I believe I had a SRAM X9 back in the day with a 4026, but it's cool to see that it's going to be a thing again. Probably more exciting than the cranks will be the front derailleurs that they will no doubt have to produce to work with those crank sets. And looking at the cassettes, you have 11 to 36, 11 to 41, and 11 to 46 for the 9-speed line. I think this is awesome. Like, I would totally rock the 4026 and the 11 to 46 cassettes, and bam, that is awesome gravel in the mountains or bike packing in the mountains gearing setup. Of course, there's a big caveat. It remains to be seen if dropper options will support cassette ratios as wide as these when they eventually emerge. But the possibility is intriguing. Been doing it for years, guys. Been doing it for years. Shimano has historically been slow to expand its gearing options, and rivals, including SRAM, have been only too happy to step up with alternatives. And that is true, and that is also very frustrating. It seems like Shimano and even SRAM, I'd say as of late, the thing that they're most concerned with is adding more speeds, but not more range. Basically, if range is your pizza, you get the same size pizza. They just cut up into smaller pieces, which is fine, but I don't think that's really innovative. What I want personally, I think what a lot of people could benefit for is actually wider range. It looks like it may happen. Again, there's no pictures of their curly bar shifters, so it's hard to say if it's going to have like the cable routing that pops out the ends, or if it's going to be nice under the bar tape routing. Another quick note about this is SRAM. I used to really like SRAM. They used to be all about what they called Wi-Fi, which was wide whatever. It was some weird acronym for wide range, and they dropped that, many years ago, and I think that was dumb. Let's see here. A key point of difference for SRAM road and gravel group sets is the ability to mix mountain bike components for a so-called mullet setup. To this day, I still get emails and comments that basically say, mullet setup, what's that? Come on, guys, it's 2023, look it up. Or I get comments like, mullet, doesn't that mean different wheel sizes? Yes, it means that. It also means this. Words can have multiple meaning. Let's see, Shimano's newfound enthusiasm for greater component interchangeability seems like an encouraging sign here. Okay, stuff about the hub. CUES uses Shimano's Link-Glide technology, first introduced in 2021. Again, not familiar with this. New components with taller, thicker tooth profiles for its cassette sprockets. So basically what it sounds like is Link-Glide is a beefier cassette. A lot tougher, more durable, but probably at the cost of weight. So rather than rebranding existing parts, supposedly all the CUES stuff is designed anew. It rationalizes a wide range of components across 9, 10, 11 speed lifestyle ranges. This is just like slightly patronizing that we're in the lifestyle category. Offering a single chain, cassette sprocket spacing, and derailleur pulleys will work with all three. So CUES will make things a lot easier for the home mechanic. Can appreciate that. Also cut down on SKUs. Bike shops will love that. And it should also allow riders to mix and match more easily between group sets if they want to upgrade or replace parts. I'm into this. I'm totally into this. This has been contrary to what Shimano has been doing, what the industry has been doing as a whole. Instead of interchangeability, they're trying to lock you into proprietary systems. There was one other article which goes over a lot of the same things, but has some numbers. So this is from Pink Bike. Pink Bike says, with its CUES, well, rather disappointingly, it stands for creating unique experiences. Yeah, I mean, there's so many other words or acronyms they could have used. Does it actually make things simpler? A little bit more technical information. All the shifters use the same pull ratio, meaning that you could theoretically run an 11-speed shifter on a 9-speed cassette, and this would work by just adjusting the limit screw on the rear derailleur. Because the link-allowed technology is in the cassette and all the tiers use 11-speed chains, chain rings and cranks are all interchangeable irrespective of what speed your cassette is. You can do this now, actually. If you look at my hardtack, I've got I think a 10-speed cassette, an 11-speed chain, and a 9-speed double crank set, and it all works with an 11-speed chain. For those of you that want a clutch in your 1x, you got to go to the upper tier, so U8000, U6000. The U4000, the 9-speed one, doesn't have a clutch, but it supposedly has a stiffer spring, which is on par with 11-speed XT and SLX from a couple years ago, pre-clutch. Okay, we get some numbers. Highest tier group set, U8000 is priced at under $290 USD for shifter, chain, cassette, and rear derailleur. And that's pretty dang good. I mean, that is a true group set of the people there. With a crankset, chainring, and BB, it'll bump up to $451. It costs more, but still super reasonable. Let's see, U6000, again without the crank, is $213 for 11-speed. Or 186 for 10. I think it's a pretty good price. I recently bought a GRX 11-speed rear derailleur, and I paid like $140. So for like $50 more, you'd get the chain, cassette, and shifter. I think that's a pretty good deal. Entry level 9-speed U4000 is just $150. Okay, so that's what Pink Bike has to say. Overall, I'm super excited. There's really been a lot of chatter about this group set on our Discord. And one of the things that people have picked up on is that at the U4000 cranksets, they're riveted. So you can't swap them out. They don't have chainring bolts. You're kind of just stuck with what they have, which is rather unfortunate because it's that U4000 that's getting the 4026. That's a bummer. I wish that they would trickle that up to the U8000, 6000, so we can have that chainring combination with bolts and also offer a 38 tooth 1x chainring. But there you go. That's what I think about the new Shimano CUES system. Again, it's been in the rumor mill for a while. It's cool to see it finally out. So apparently we still have a few years left with mechanical group sets and Shimano. It's interesting. I think this might be a direct response to brands like Microshift that have been eating Shimano's lunch in terms of more affordable group sets with wider range and some newer drivetrain features. If you like this breakdown and commentary, let me know in the comments below. Maybe I'll do more of these if you're into it. If you enjoy this focus on practical and affordable bike gear, please consider joining us on Patreon. It's what keeps this channel going. Or stop by the merch store and pick up one of our new Save the Front derailleurs that you can slap on your CUES equipped bike. As always, keep the supple side down.